RedBeard Podcast is brought to you by these cool dudes.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Tony from the RedBeard Podcast, and you're chilling with me and my boy, Cooley. That's right. So you guys are here as usual on Friday. It's going to be a good time. We are switching it up this week, man. We got some cool stuff to talk about. Dude, how you doing, by the way? We haven't, had a chance to hang out the past, 2 weeks because we've been busy.
Work is a bitch.
Yeah, and you fucking missed Oddball.
I did.
Oh, man.
I did because of work in some capacity.
Yeah, dude, what were you doing? That's kind of cool, I think.
Yeah, I can't even remember what the fuck made me miss it. It was because, there was something going on.
Voting.
Yes.
That's a cue. Yeah, there
you
go.
Work.
Yeah.
I was training, and I wasn't able to fucking make it on time, which sucks.
Yeah.
So, boo voting, but yay that we have the right to do it.
Yeah, man, seriously. Honestly, I will say this. Oddball this
only
year...
10% of the registered voters showed up.
That's bullshit.
Sucks.
That does suck.
Yeah. Fucking exercise your right, man. Fucking people fought for that shit, man.
Yeah.
Right?
I will say this, as far as Oddball goes, man, you missed out, but you didn't miss out, because Oddball was fun, and don't get me wrong, there were a ton of great comedians. I mean, Jay Farrell was good, right, because he did a lot of impressions. He did a total of 6, right, but then he didn't go over the top with them, he had a routine, but he threw in some impressions, which I thought he could have done a little bit more, because that's what he's known for, right, is his impressions. Right. But I feel like he's trying to get away from that. But, dude, if you're good at something, stick to it. And then you had Segura there, who was just, phenomenal.
Yeah, Segura's
he
funny,
was
man.
so
I fucking
funny.
love that dude.
I watched both of his Netflix specials after I saw him, and he's hilarious.
Yeah.
Dude, John Oliver, horrible.
Really? That's the thing. That John Oliver is the guy that I was most excited to see if I did go.
Yeah.
And if he was horrible, that sucks.
But here's the thing. Now, you watch him on the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all that stuff is written for him. He's a writer. He plans his jokes out. It's all timed. It's a show. It's entertainment. Of course, it's going to be funny. And that's not to say that everybody who has a talk show is funny, but I feel like for his particular show and his audience, there's a lot of political humor where he shines, right?
Yeah, and it's everything I've seen him in has been funny, but again, it's all been written,
that's what
timed,
I'm saying,
acted out.
But political humor being that is his audience for that show, whereas on stage as a stand-up comedian, he was telling some jokes dude, it was visibly kind of ridiculous. He was the last comedian to go on, which I thought was a pretty bad idea, because they had Sebastian Maniscalco go on before him, who ruined. Sebastian was on for a good 35 minutes. Dude, I was in tears laughing at this guy. Stuff that I hadn't heard before. It was all new material. Mm-hmm. John Oliver comes out, and Jim Rock, who did the podcast with me the day before we left, literally that afternoon, was like, hey, if you want to leave during John Oliver, I'm fine with that. And he said that before, and then I'm watching people visibly get up 10 minutes into a set and be like, I think I'm done. And we kind of had the same thing, and I looked at Becca. I was like, "You want to go?" And Jim's like, "You guys don't have to go," because I said I wanted to go. I was like, "No, dude." I was like, "This really is not funny to me."
Yeah, and dude, if you have the opportunity to leave before everybody
you hit the traffic,
dude, do it.
And that's the thing.
Yeah,
That's the thing. I was like, I'm not
So you should be thanking John Oliver for sucking.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, because I remember every time we've been to Oddball, leaving is the worst, and it's just like going to a football game. Leaving a stadium is absolutely fucking horrible.
It's god awful. You sit in traffic for at least an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
You enjoy yourself, but then after the fact, it's almost like, dude, was this even worth the shit that I'm going through right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It definitely was. That was one of the pluses. I mean, we literally I was like, I'm not feeling this. Thank God. Let's get out of here. And that was actually the year before when we left because of Aziz. I think Aziz.
I loved Aziz the year
before.
But
dude, I'm a Aziz Ansari fan sometimes. I loved his set in Funny People, the movie. It was probably planned the jokes he was going to say for the movie, but I thought it was funny when he was doing the Cold Stone jokes.
Do you like his show?
I haven't watched it.
Oh.
Yeah. But here's
awesome.
the thing. His stand-up, though, it was the key to a good stand-up act is me not feeling like I have to laugh because of who's on stage. he didn't make me laugh. Like, people were laughing, but I was like, this isn't funny to me. Like, I'm not going to laugh because I feel like I have to because he's Aziz Ansari and he's in front of me. I'm going to laugh if it's funny. And I feel like he was just being too Aziz. You know what I'm saying? Like, being like, oh, hey, I'm Aziz Ansari. Well, I'm goofy and whoa. Like, that's not funny to me. Like, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, like, think that's funny, but that just didn't do it for me. You know, like, I'm over that. You know, like, I want, like, material. I want something that's actually going to make me laugh instead of you just being there as, like, a star quality. So he didn't do it for me. So I bounced and skipped the traffic last year and this year. But so on that note, Oddball, you did miss some good comedians, but you didn't miss, like, I would say the past 2 years quality. I mean, dude, we had Louis C.K., we had Sarah Silverman, we had Amy Schumer.
Sarah Silverman was the shit.
We had John Mulaney. Like, you know what I'm saying? We had some awesome people. The first year I went, Dave Chappelle was the headliner. Amazing. Never seen Dave Chappelle live. Probably one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I forgot I was even there, dude. I forgot I was at Mansfield Comcast Center, which is a hard thing to do. I forgot I was there. And then, he literally just sucks you in, dude.
Yep.
And that's the key to a master stand-up comedian. You forget you're there, you know. But anyway, with that being said, today's episode, guys, we're actually going to talk about some new supernatural stuff. This is in no way, shape, or form going to be replacing the October episode that we're going to have. We're going to talk about some paranormal stuff. We want to get Jay Costa back on.
And we're going to do like stuff this year. Like, we're actually going to go. And go to, like you mentioned, a haunted house in Massachusetts that you actually have to, like, sign a waiver for.
Then let's jump into it.
You know,
that's one of the things we're going to be talking about.
I'm doing it.
So I talked about that last.
I'm signing the waiver. I don't give a fuck.
I
don't give a fuck.
Here we go. I talked about this shit last week with Jim Kelly, and this is it. So, like I said, we're not gonna. This is no way, shape, or form going to replace the October podcast of paranormal stuff, but we are going to talk about some supernatural paranormal stuff today. So, there is a haunted house in Massachusetts where you legit have to sign a waiver, to go in and actually walk around. Now, this waiver gives you access to the entire place. You can walk around, you can record, you can film, you can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
You can even stay over, right? But it is no way, shape, or form allows. Or basically, you cannot in any way put blame on them if something happens, right?
Right.
Now, I talked to Jim about this. Jim will not go to a horror movie because he is that scared of things jumping out and whatever. And I've been with Jim to haunted places because I used to do that shit and try to record EVP and all that stuff and try to whatever. But, like, he freaked out because we had these flashlights that you have to spin to warm up. You know what I mean? It basically creates the energy to create the light. So it makes it sound like, vroom, vroom, vroom. So, like, we're walking through a quiet forest in the middle of nowhere, and I make that sound. He's like, oh, shit. You know, and he freaked out for a second, right? Because he didn't know what the hell the sound was. Being that scared of something that was just that made me question why he's okay to actually go into a place where you have to sign a waiver. Like, clearly some shit has happened where people tried to blame these people for allowing them to go into the house. So why would
Or follow me here.
I'm listening.
And this is where I really think, this is what I really think is going on. If I tell you,
oh God,
come see this haunted house, you have to sign a waiver. Right?
Yeah.
It makes people think that it's going to be worse than it really is, right? Mm-hmm. You need to sign a waiver if you're coming in. Like, dude, that's enough to make people want to go.
Yeah, but there's actually people that have gone in there that have been like, yo,
if you have to sign a waiver to get on a ride, you know that ride is going to be fucking, like, crazy, right?
Yeah, or they don't want you to die because of a heart condition you didn't know you had.
Yeah, like, you're getting on that shit because, like, if you got to sign a waiver, it's got to be dope. Right?
Yeah.
You're getting on it. So to me, it's like makes people seek out that, like, I'm dying to get to this place because I have to sign a waiver.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people have voiced that they have been to this place. Like, they have videos of people in this place who have found stuff. They're like, no, dude, like, shit moved. Like, I felt uncomfortable. Like, I didn't feel good when I was in there. Like, people that went in there seeking the same result that we're seeking, but got something that they wanted but didn't think it was going to be that bad,
right?
And this brings us to one of the questions that we had wanted to kind of talk about was that and this is something that I talked about, that I mentioned, is that what are the risks? Like, when you go into a place like this, you're technically putting yourself at risk I would say physically, and if you're a believer in this, spiritually, right?
Well, I got to read the waiver that I'm signing, because if it's like a physical damage waiver, yeah, dude.
No, that's what it is.
I'm not signing it because
no, that's what it is. It's basically it's any way, shape, or form are they responsible to anything that happens in there.
Oh, dude, like what if that place is just friggin' like unstable? Like like I mean, like that's not cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I honestly think like it's one of those things where the background to this house, there's so much stuff that has happened in it that
Have you done research on it?
I've read some stuff about it, and I can actually pull some stuff up right now. So it's actually called let's see. Actually, this is not it. Give me 1 second, because it's in Massachusetts, which is actually around the corner. So
okay.
Let me take a second to look this up. I got the computer in front of me. Yes, Jerome, I do have my computer this time. Like I've had, but I've just gotten kind of lazy the past couple times to actually go on. So yeah, here we go. So there's a haunted house in Massachusetts that's so terrifying you have to sign a waiver to enter. Now this is what it says, right?
Mm-hmm.
So lots of haunted attractions claim to be the most frightening in town, but how many make you sign a waiver before even stepping foot on the property? The S.K. Pierce Mansion in Gardner has a history of death and hauntings that stretches back almost 130 years. Recently purchased and transformed into a haunted house attraction, this massive Victorian mansion was on the market for a mere $329,000 in 2015. Read on and learn why the owners were set to sell it for such a low price and how you can experience this chilling sight for yourself. So it says that the mansion is almost 7,000 square feet. It has 10 bedrooms and a full servant wing. However, tragedy began to infest the S.K. Pierce Mansion almost as soon as it was constructed. So the wife of Sylvester Pierce died of sudden bacterial infection of mysterious origin mere weeks after moving into the house. In 1916, the daughter of Pierce's youngest son, Edward, died of Spanish flu in the home. She was 2 years old. Edward's wife also died suddenly in the home. The family fortune was hit hard by the Great Depression. Pierce's youngest son turned the mansion into a boarding house, which was said to be a den of vice and prostitution. One prostitute was strangled to death in what is now known as the Red Bedroom. Earlier, there was almost no damage to the room. Even for skeptics, the reported hauntings at this Gardner mansion are truly chilling. These ghosts are known to get physical. Encounters with the paranormal at the mansion have been reported almost nonstop since the Pierce family left the estate. Visitors report a range of experiences, including chanting, the sounds of footsteps, horrible odors, shadow people, and even the sound of a deafening lion's roar. It hasn't stopped there. However, more than one visitor has reported the pressure of hands on their body, feeling compelled to throw themselves down the stairs, even feeling as if they were being forced towards the open windows. So that's just a couple of the things I'm getting through. But I mean, you're literally, I feel like when stuff like this happens, putting yourself at physical risk if those things have been reported. Whether you believe in them or not, if that happens to you when you're in there, you're kind of fucked. So what do you think?
I don't know. Everything that you read off sounds like stuff that can be explained away. I mean, like there was nothing like literally the
shadow people,
dude. Shadow people, fuck shit you see out of the corner of your eye, right?
No, I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about a flicker of light. I'm talking about a fucking shadow person that looks like a person,
dude. If you see a shadow person, if you told me that you saw a shadow person,
you wouldn't believe me.
I might.
No,
if you told me, like I saw a shadow
nah,
person,
bro,
right there.
Was the flashlight on your iPhone on? It's your shadow, bro.
No, I would ask you questions. Like I wouldn't just blindly believe you, but like
bullshit.
if we've
wait, but let me ask you something. Do you think 3 questions? Do you consider me a friend, right?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm a smart person?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm stupid?
No.
Then why the fuck would you doubt that I saw a shadow person?
Because I think you believe.
I believe, but dude.
And belief is a powerful thing. Like, let's be real about that. Like, let's be real for 1 minute. No, it is, but I know
the difference between fucking something being a shadow. Like, look.
Yo,
I'm not
Barack Obama believed that he could be president. And he was president for 8 fucking years, okay? Dude, belief is a powerful thing, okay? It really is.
Belief doesn't get you the votes, man. It had a lot more to do with that. No, that's bullshit. Listen, that's a bad example. Listen, I believe, okay, that I am going to be a millionaire someday. You know, there's a lot of things. I don't know, that's a bad example too, because I probably will be. But I'm just saying, like I believe that I can't think of anything. But listen, I'm just saying, like, if I say to you,
we believe that we can have a podcast, and here we are.
Yeah, I
Right?
believe that
Belief
we
is a
have
powerful
10,000 million listeners, and I don't know if that's a reality.
Hey, it will happen.
It will. But so that's what I'm saying, though, is like you know me well enough to know that I'm not stupid, and that like I would. And we talk about this shit often.
Mm-hmm.
So I would know if I saw something and be like, okay, that shit is not anything else going on right now. That is a shadow person. That is a shadow that is moving where nothing else in this room is moving. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that is,
like I would have to. I would literally have to talk to you about it. Is all I'm saying.
But
like,
what would it take for you to actually believe it?
Listen, just like when somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I have a virus," right? Mm-hmm. I want to know what makes you think you have a virus. Tell me all the fucking things that you've seen that makes you believe that there's a virus on your computer, right?
Yeah.
Now, whether or not this person can tell me things that makes me believe that there's a virus on the computer, exactly. So now when I say, "Hey, tell me the things that make you believe that you saw a shadow person,"
I was in that room, bro.
Yep.
I had no lights on.
Okay.
Well, there was one light. It was my flashlight on my phone. I was the only person in the room, and I saw a shadow move in front of me from one side of the room to the other, and something fell off the shelf.
All right, and there was nobody else in the room.
No one else in the room.
And there's my series of questions. Like what?
That's
what
it. That's all it takes.
That's all I need.
What are you going to say?
That's all I need.
So now you believe me?
Kinda.
Bullshit.
Now
you're like I kind of trust him, but fuck him.
Now I'm looking around. Now I'm looking around at that point. Now I'm saying, okay, is there a shadow person in here? Let me see the shadow person. Can I see the shadow person? Now we want to recreate the issue, right?
That shit doesn't happen on demand, man.
I'm just saying. Now we want to recreate the issue, and I want to see it happen. Like, where's the shadow person? Let me see the shadow person.
Yeah,
right?
but see, that's an episode of Ghost Hunters, man. People see stuff, and then they come in. They don't necessarily see the same thing. However, I will take. So my Uncle Larry, right? My Uncle Larry, and I swear to God, I will have him on so we can talk about this.
Okay.
He's from the South, right? They have this place, and he tells me about it all the time. It's on his property, right? He's like, it's a house or a barn. I forgot what it was, right, on their property. He's like, if you go into that barn, he's been in there numerous times. He's like, if you go into that barn, he's like, if you go in with 3 people and you shut off the lights, you'll count 4 people. He goes, if you go in with 5 and you shut off the lights, you'll count 6. He goes, if you go in by yourself, you shut off the lights, you'll see 2 people. He goes, every time you go into that place and shut off the lights, you count an extra person. He goes, it is undoubted. He goes, my whole family has seen it. He goes, you always count an extra person that you can't see with the lights on. Fuck that. And I even said to him, I was like, why do you go in there? He's like, nothing's ever happened.
Is it you?
No.
Are you the extra person?
No. So if I go in,
because I know when you go some places, when you have the lights on, we can't see you.
What? No, you can still see a shadow, bro. So if you go into a place and you turn the lights on, then I might, then I'm washed out.
Yeah, you disappear. Yeah.
Or if you take a picture of me and it's hot enough out, dude, I'm not even there. But like, I'm just saying, like, I'm a shade away from albino, man. You just see an outline of, all you see is red hair. Anyway, no, I'm serious, man. Like, if you go in, like, and it's 4 people counting yourself, so it's you, me, Court, and Becca. We go into this room, there's 5 people when you turn off the lights. Like, that's what I'm saying.
But like, when you turn off the lights, like, what do you like? This is where I'm like confused, because
it's just
when you turn off the lights,
it's a shadow of a person.
But is it like pitch black, or is it?
No, it's enough light where you can actually see outlines of people. Like, it's kind of, you know what I mean? Like, he just says you can always count an extra person there.
Yeah, but have you ever seen yourself cast a double shadow? Because I have.
Not a double shadow. I mean, I think they know the difference between that. I'm saying a double shadow. I mean, it was an extra person.
Okay.
So you can ask him about it. I'm telling you, man. He stands by it.
Get him. I want him to be on the podcast.
I will. I'll get him and my aunt on. That'll be a fun time.
That'll be cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because then we can talk about it, and I want to ask him legit, like, are we sure that it's not a double shadow? Because I've seen double shadows all the time.
I'm going to have you listen to this episode. We're getting your ass on this podcast. And CA, you're coming on too. We're going to talk movies. So We'll get back to that. I'm telling. That's my aunt. I call her CA because she's the cool aunt.
Oh, I thought you meant in CA, like California.
No,
like
in CA?
I'm like, all right, that's gonna be hard, but we'll do
Yeah,
it.
no.
Skype.
Yeah, seriously. So when you go into a place like that, do you feel like you put yourself though at risk physically?
Not me.
All right. What about spiritually? And
Not me.
Okay. So are you a spiritual person?
Yeah.
What religion?
Catholic.
So am I. So I asked when we were thinking about going on that tour. There's a tour that we should go on. It's actually Lorraine Warren, who is you guys know who she is if you've seen The Conjuring or you follow any kind of our podcast. We talk about her a lot. She actually has a tour that you can pay for in Monroe, Connecticut. It's an all-day thing. You basically go up there. You go on the tour of the museum they have. Where they have all their haunted artifacts. And there's also, you can see Annabelle, the actual Annabelle doll, which is locked up. You can see a lot of other stuff from, Amityville, all these different artifacts they have that are haunted in some way, right? You can't touch anything, but you can walk through. But I asked Tony Serpa, I think his name is, her nephew, who actually helps her now with these tours. I said, if these things are haunted, I said, and there are people who have reported things happening to them after they've left. Like there was this guy that went in, he was talking shit to Annabelle, to the doll, like face to face, just being an asshole. They kicked him out of the museum. He was with his girlfriend. On the way home, got in an accident. He died. She survived. Right? So they think it's kind of weird that it happened, but he was talking shit to the doll, being like, "You're full of shit. This is fake. Blah, blah, blah. I don't believe you." And he died on the way home. So freak accident.
Right.
She survived, but she wasn't talking shit to the doll. So who knows? I don't know if that's coincidence or not.
Right.
But I said to
What was your question to him though?
But I said to him, I'm thinking about going on this tour. I'm Catholic. I believe in this stuff, and I want to make sure that I'm protected. What things can you recommend that I do? And he said, you have to think about the Blessed Mother. He's like, before you come into a house like this, he's like, into a place, he's like, and think about a beam of white light around you. He's like, that protects you. He goes, you have to visually think about that before you come in. He's like, that there is a protective, form of positive light around you. He's like, and that will help to shield you from anything that you see in the house. He's like, but it all is about what religion you are. He goes, you have to believe in it. You have to be serious about it. He said, and you should be fine. And for him to say that, and me being Catholic and understanding the religion, understanding where he's coming from, it made a lot of sense to me. And I don't feel like anybody who's bullshit about this would say something like that, because this is very specific.
So I guess,
it is a form of visualization too.
For me though, how many fucking things do you have in the house, right? That are like all haunted, right?
Right.
How is that house? How can you live in that shit? How can you be like?
They look at it at a way of taking it out of the place that it was to protect that family.
Right. So you took it out of there,
is in their house.
Family. It's in their house.
Right.
How do they live with that stuff?
Right. So they are very. She is a very spiritual person, and so was Ed Warren. They were both extremely Catholic. She still is a clairvoyant. Like, she can see things, she can feel energy, right? So she's very receptive to those things.
Right.
She knows there's stuff there, and she protects herself with it by prayer and other things. However, they do have a priest come to the house every month and blesses everything and keeps it at bay with holy water. Like, every month he comes and like blesses all this stuff and basically is like, a don't fuck with us kind of thing. I mean,
it's just there are so many different things. And look, man, like I'm a skeptic.
Yeah, I know.
This.
That's the great thing about this. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah, this has been since day one. People know this stuff, so like, please take it with a grain of salt. But so you have all this stuff in there. You have a priest that comes once a month. So like, there's like a 30-day fucking limit on like blessings.
I think it's like, I'm not saying there's a 30-day limit. I'm just saying it's something that they do habitually because it's smart to do.
Right.
I mean, we just moved into this house. I haven't had shit happen.
Like, if I
bless it.
Like, if I was super spiritual and I could see clairvoyant and I knew this stuff was super haunted and I had it in my house and I would have a priest in there like daily. Daily. Like, hey, stop by the house, do your thing. Let's make sure these things are protected. Like, at what point did they say, like, hey, 30 days is cool? Like, we can go 30 days.
I'm not saying that.
Father Bob.
I mean, 30 days. I mean, I guess it's kind of funny there's 30 days, but I don't know if it's exactly. But, I mean, I think that he just, this priest comes by and literally, like, blesses it. Like you have we have not done this yet, but like I was saying, I mean, we just moved into this house like a month ago, right?
It's like when somebody asked me to, like, again, let's go with this, like, this virus thing, like, right? Somebody asked me, when should I run virus scan? Like, I'm like, hey, try it every 2 weeks, right? Like, I'm just throwing a fucking dart. Like, I mean, like, I don't know, like, how many porn sites you visit in a day to get a virus on your computer, right? Like,
yeah, stop downloading the fake Adobe Flash player.
It all depends on how often you visit sites that are or open emails that are prone to give you a virus or malware or adware on your computer. That's how often you should do that. But if you have this shit living in your house, I'm considering a ghost or a spirit a virus. If you have it in your house and you know it's there, like, run that shit every day. Yeah,
but I also feel like they know they've been doing this for so long. Mm-hmm. That they're receptive enough to know when things are serious and what things need to be protected. I mean, dude, that's why you can't touch shit while you're in there. She specifically says, do not touch anything.
And like, so like the spirits are like well behaved until you like provoke them.
No, if you touch things,
like they're just like having a tea party, and then you're like, "Hey, you fucking suck," and then like they kill you.
It's all right. Think about as a what is the word that I'm looking for? Something. What do you call something that you are looking to travel with? Like you can travel within it, whatever. I don't know. Call it a host, right? Okay. Call it a host, but that's a bad example because a host is something that is feeding off of. But call it a host, right? You have this host that this spirit lives within. It's trapped within that, right? And it is you. That is what is causing the problem. Like that Annabelle doll, not the movies. I'm talking about the real story. Look that shit up because that Annabelle
the Raggedy
movie and the Annabelle 2 is all bullshit. But like, look up the actual doll, right? That doll was carrying something, right? It is a vessel. Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Then that's what they use. It's a vessel for that demon, right? That stays in that. Once it is in that vessel, that is what it uses to go from place to place, right? It uses that as a place to reside, right? So when something happens, if they remove that vessel from the house and put it in their house, one, they're like, we're getting it away from this family that doesn't know anything about this, right? They don't know what they're dealing with. We take it, we contain it, we bless it every month or whatever, and are very Catholic and say prayers every day to protect us against this entity which is in this vessel, right? Do not come into this house and then touch that vessel which contains that thing. I don't know how spirits work. Tony, I don't know how spirits work. I don't know if they transfer, but I know about possession, and I know about energy, and I know that you hold something that holds that entity which is using it as a vessel, you could potentially turn into that vessel, which you don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? So don't touch shit when you're in there. And I think that I'm very accurate in saying that because it would make sense why they don't want you to make physical contact with it. So who knows? I mean, I talked to Ryan about this, McCarthy, and he even said, he's like, oh, I want to go on that tour. And I was like, bro, the more I think about that, I don't know if I want to do it. I was like, because I don't want to go into this fucking place. Yeah, it'd be a cool experience. But I don't want to go into this place and accidentally bring shit back. Like, I don't want to bring shit back to my house. It's going to fuck with me and my wife. Like, I'm all set with that. It's not worth it, But I feel like they've done this enough times and enough people have experienced it and have been in this and seen these things and not touched anything, and they haven't had any bad experiences. I really think it comes down to what you believe in. But then again, like there are people that don't believe in ghosts and don't believe in entities and possession that have had these things happen to them. So it often affects people that don't believe in it. I don't believe in this because there's got to be a reasonable explanation. There's no way it's a ghost, and that gives them more power.
Right, but I guess where my disbelief comes from, right, is more the fact that why are a lot of these things isolated incidences? Like, I mean, people die. And things happen to people, bad things happen to people all the fucking time. Why is it like, oh, this place is a haunted place, but this place where somebody else died exactly the same fucking way is fine. The place is perfectly fine. That's not haunted. It's fine. This place is super haunted. That place is not super haunted. But similar things happen in these two places. Like I'm just,
I don't know, man.
That's what bothers me. It's like, why is it that, and I almost feel like, I don't know. I almost feel like sometimes like there are things that are unexplainable that happen, and the explanation automatically, because of the fact that it's unexplainable, like we have to explain it some way. It's supernatural. It's because this spirit is here. This thing is happening. Like the true story of The Conjuring 2, and the tape that they played back at the end of the movie. That's pretty fucking. That's pretty scary if that's accurate. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't necessarily know that myself. I haven't experienced it. I haven't seen anything like that.
If you go on this tour, she not only takes you on a tour of the place. This is basically how it works. It's like $150, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you go on this tour. You show up at her place, or you show up somewhere. I forgot that. I don't know exactly how it works, but basically I know what happens within it. You go to that museum in her house at some point. You walk through it. You look at all the artifacts. After that's said and done, there is at some point a grave rubbing where you go to, I think it's Ed Warren's grave actually, where you there are different stones that you can rub and get like the rubbing of the actual name. That's part of something that they do. And she explains how she sees things and what that process has been like for her for years, right? Which I'm very interested in. That is probably one of the most interesting things I'm interested in. The other thing is that there's like an Italian dinner that you go to where it's a hall, which already paid for. Within that, you have dinner. It's all paid for. There's a book signing where she will sign books, take pictures, and all that stuff, whatever. But more importantly, she shows you a video of an exorcism that she was a part of. And that is probably one of the most captivating things that I want to see. Because that is something probably I'm most afraid of, but it's something that I believe in. Like, I've seen The Exorcist, and I understand that's a movie and blah, 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 blah. But, like, there are people who have survived shit like that, and, like, they don't remember what happened to them. They see videos, and they don't understand. Like, they're speaking languages they never heard before or never could have had any recollection of. So that stuff is fucking beyond me. I can't even begin to understand how you speak a language that you never heard before or never understand. Never mind it be fluent. Like that's fucking otherworldly to me. So for her to show me a video of something like that she witnessed or was a part of I got to see that shit. Like, I have to see that. You know what I mean? And that enough is the price of admission.
And then there's the other thing about it too, is like the price, the cost, the money, the monetization of this spiritual thing. It's like the monetization of Christ. Like, when I go places and like all I hear about is how much I need to give and donate in order to fucking find Jesus. Like, it's like, I don't know. I feel like money shouldn't be involved in this. Like, if you're trying to spread awareness and give, like, maybe ask for donations. Hey, I'm not working. I'm trying to do this as a living. I'm trying to do this to like help people and so on and so forth. Donate, right? But if I want to go and I want to see proof, I shouldn't have to pay for that.
Yeah, but you know what? It's one of those things where I feel like, dude, she's been doing this for so long that I don't think that she's doing it for the money. I feel like that even though she's charging for it, it's money that's going to a greater cause. Like, of course, it's probably going to the Warren Foundation. It's going to support research for the paranormal. It's going to support the museum, the upkeep of it, and things like that. I mean, these are things that I'm not saying they cost millions of dollars to do, but they're also going to, she definitely has something that not a lot of people have. I mean, she's probably one of the biggest or most respected paranormal investigators of our time. And the fact that she has this gift that she's willing to share with people and share her experiences and the things that she's experienced personally, I'm willing to talk to her about that. It's just weird. I mean, I don't know. I've been into this stuff since I was a kid, and I understand like why she's charging much for it. I mean, think about it. Like, all right, you're a medium. You have all this. You have this ability, right? Like, you're not making a ton of money off of it because it's just something that you were given, right? But you also are a person, and people want to come learn from you, and they want to understand what you are experiencing and what you can see that they can't see, and talk about the things that you've seen. Like, yeah, it's cool to be able to do that for free, but it's like, man, you got to eat too. Like, people are going to pay to do it, and most of these people don't give a shit. Like, you have to think about that. There are a lot of people that don't give a fuck about this. They have they don't give a shit. They haven't done research about it. They just know that, oh my God, Lorraine Warren, you were in The Conjuring. All I know is that you went into this house and you stopped this and blah, 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 blah. They don't know the true story that they didn't. It's all, the cinematic universe, right? So they don't know anything about that, right? They don't know about what she's done and what her husband has done and all the things that they've seen. They just want to go on the tour because it's Lorraine Warren. So she's going to charge for it because they'll pay it, right? But I feel like, and maybe I feel like the conceited asshole by saying this, but like, I feel like I am one of the few people that have been following her for years before The Conjuring ever came out. And I know about her and I know what she does, and I am willing to pay that money just to be like, hey, yeah, I've been following you for years. I respect what you do. I think that you have an unbelievable amount of confidence to do the things you do and put yourself physically and spiritually in front of these people and in front of these entities, and I respect you for that. And
I listened to The Roots way before they were on Jimmy Fallon.
But yeah, so
right?
What's your point, though?
My point is, right, there's still a form of entertainment, and that's what I feel like this, by charging money, it turns it into an attraction where it's not taken seriously, where if you were saying, hey, come here and see this shit, and like you could walk in and you could see it, like, I feel like you're inviting me in to see something, and now I feel like that's a lot more powerful of a statement to bring awareness to the fact that there is. So, and then, like, when you're leaving, if you want to donate to the cause, donate to the cause.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. What's the benefit in that? Honestly, like, yeah, okay, you're getting people to come in and see it and see that it's real and it's free. But honestly, dude, like, she's got to eat. Like, people want to see it, charge for it. Just like we talked about with the girl, the woman who owns, the woman and the husband that own the house that The Conjuring actually took place in out in friggin' Harrisville, right? Like, dude, you're complaining, saying that the house is haunted, isn't haunted, whatever. Have people come in, do a tour, $40. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are busting their ass to be on your property and breaking in. All right, you know what? You want to see the house? You want to take a walk through? $50. Let's do it, right? You walk them through $50. They paid for it. You're making money off of it instead of them ruining your freaking Saturday night when you're trying to watch a movie on Netflix and they're trying to break your fucking window in to see one of the Conjuring ghosts. You know what I'm saying? Like, make money off of it. There's no wrong in that. There's no wrong at all. And she's doing the same thing. She's got all these things that people want to see. She's a major paranormal investigator and a medium and a clairvoyant. She's been to Amityville. She's been to Harrisville. She's been to England, dude.
You don't think $150 is a little steep?
No, I said $50.
I thought you said $150.
No, $50. I'm telling you, it's $50 a pop, dude. You got how many people? You got like probably, I'd say 10 people a night trying to break into your house. That's easy money.
No, $50 for that. But I'm talking about not Andrea Perrin.
The people who own the house.
No, the other
Lorraine Warren.
Lorraine Warren is $150, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how much. You know what? Keep talking. I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, look it up because like $150 just feels a little steep. It feels like
yeah, but dude, that's a lot. Dude, she's like 87. She's been doing it for years.
Like Stan Lee is $80, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I get to meet Stan Lee and, like, shake his hand and take a picture for $80, dude.
Stan Lee's fictional.
Stan Lee is a real dude that created a bunch of fictional stuff that a lot of people grew up with. He's like a lot of people's adopted grandfather, man.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? It's all about your interests. If you're
What's his name?
if you're interested in
Peter
comic
Cullen.
books, dude, yeah, all right. Voice of Transformers, awesome.
Yeah.
I totally would spend that money. But, dude,
I wouldn't. Well, $150 is a lot. That's what they were charging to fucking go see him, is $150. I wouldn't see Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime. Why would I want to pay to see, like, Raggedy Ann? You know what I mean?
Raggedy Ann. That's good. But what I'm saying is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, she is a it's so hard to fight for because I understand what you're saying, but it was all about an interest in it's how strong you believe in it.
Right.
Dude, it really is. It's hard. It's a hard concept to fight for because it all is about things that are not necessarily what most people would consider tangible. You know what I mean? I can't show you that. I can't definitely tell you and show you, hey, it exists. See this? This is it. You can't hold it. You can't feel it. You have to see it for your own eyes, and that might not happen for this price.
Yeah.
You know, and that is the problem with that. You know,
and I see that side of it, and like I guess my point is just the people that don't feel as strongly as you do, that are paying $150 for what? To go in and just fucking like, oh, look at the fucking.
I gotta be honest with you, man. $150. You know what it is? It is for me to meet her. Dude, that is all it is.
Mm-hmm.
I have, and most people don't know who the fuck she is. They don't care. They probably known about her from maybe 5 seconds ago when I started talking about her, or maybe 3 months since The Conjuring came out, or a year, right? I have been following her since Amityville. Since that, I watched the documentaries. I've been reading all their case files. I've been reading The Demonologist, and the stuff that they say I'm very passionate about. So for that alone, they have said things that make too much sense to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's lying, and if he's lying, congratulations, you fucking fooled me. Like, honestly, congratulations. My hat off to you. You guys are brilliant. You made money off me, and have fun going on a vacation.
You know the real answer to this, and I thought of it as I'm listening to you. The real answer to why they charge $150 is to weed out the bullshitters that don't really want to go and see you. Like, if you're serious about meeting her and actually caring, because obviously I'm not going to spend $150, but you would spend $150 because you actually care about meeting her.
And so would Don, and so would Jim Beller.
Right, so there you go. Like, those are the folks that, like, she wants to meet you, but she doesn't really want to meet someone like me who's going to sit there and, like, ask her 20 questions about why she does what she does. Like, because I don't believe, right?
Yep.
Like, and because I'm not serious about it, I'm not going to spend $150 where you would.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid point. I mean, and I think it comes down to passion. You know, like, if you're passionate about something and you believe strongly in something, you're going to pay money to see it. And the stuff that she has said is going to happen on the tour, for me alone, is worth the price of admission.
Yeah, like Kate Beckinsale, we're going to fucking pay for VIP access to meet Kate Beckinsale, right?
Yeah, but Kate Beckinsale, it's like, you know what the difference is? Oh, my God, Kate Beckinsale, don't want to be here. Nah, not really. She hot. Fuck yeah, I want to get a picture. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And, like, I loved you in Underworld. That's basically what that is.
Right.
But, like,
she was also good in Click.
She was. Yeah, and she was. And what did you drop, a fucking dime?
Yeah, I dropped a dime, baby.
Oh, yo, I'll stop my car on a dime, son. So, but honestly, Kate Beckinsale, yes, she was hot in Click. She dressed up as Pocahontas, as my friend John Silva said. When we saw the movie, he looked at me and he goes, wow, she dressed as Pocahontas? I was like, yeah, isn't it not? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I would definitely poke her harness. But anyway, right? So,
Honestly.
Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, hottestly. I would definitely like to meet Kate Beckinsale. I think she's a great actor. She's very talented, but she's hot. So anyway, that's why I'll meet her. But anyway, Ed Lorraine Warren, yeah, man, I'd love to meet her. You wouldn't. It's honestly an opinion. It's what you're passionate about.
So this brings me to a question that I had,
and then we got to move on. I got some other things I want to ask.
Like. What does it take to actually be a ghost hunter?
That was my ghost hunt. That was my question.
Yeah. What does it actually take to be a ghost hunter? And what are the credentials that you have to like go into a place and be like, hey, I'm hunting ghosts?
Now, do you mean, what does it take to be a ghost hunter? Like, hey, I'm a ghost hunter, or like, hey, I'm on TV ghost hunter?
Dude, like whatever, right? Like, is there a difference?
It's not whatever. There is a difference. Because on Jason, TV, people are watching you. If not, it's like you.
So like Jason Hawes, like you're saying, is not a legit ghost hunter. He's a TV ghost hunter.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying there are differences between when millions of people are watching you and will judge what you do, rather what you do in private as a ghost hunter, quote unquote.
All right. So explain the actual difference,
okay,
and explain what credentials you actually need to be able to go to somebody's house and say, I'm here to help you out.
Okay, so technically if you're a ghost hunter, that's called a paranormal investigator, and you need to actually be you need to have, I would say, somewhat of an experience with these events. And I have the hiccup, so sorry if I'm pausing for longer than what is considered weird. Like right there. Okay. So, taking a deep breath. If you're a paranormal investigator, then I think you need to have a couple different things as far as equipment goes. I sound like Obama. And we're going to be strong. So, I think what you need to do is you need to have some sort of I want to do Obama so bad. You got to have an infrared camera, and you got to have some kind of experience. So I think at all, right? You have to have an infrared camera. You have to have some sort of a microphone that can record any kind of static, right? Because that static is going to pick up EVP, right?
So speaking of these technologies, like what makes, so can I take my blue Spark microphone into a place and like try to record EVP, or do I need like a special like supernatural microphone that I have to buy at like one of these like apothecaries, right, that sell like fucking natural oils and in crystals and shit? Do they have a microphone that I should buy?
Well, my response would be that you need a mic that can pick up sound. So no, I think that you don't need a crazy, and by the way, apothecary is somebody you buy medicine from, not mics. But anyway,
whatever.
So I need some medicine that costs 24.
I hear apothecary
and I am a Romeo.
I hear apothecary and I think Harry Potter. I don't know.
I think you got to go back. It's fucking Romeo and Juliet, my friend. Okay. Anyway. So if you played Assassin's Creed, then Apothecary is the guy with the long nose. Anyway, so basically you need basic equipment. Okay, so me and my friends are not paranormal investigators by any stretch of the word, right? But we used to go to different places that were haunted, and we would bring a voice recorder, like a little tape in it, back in the day when Stranger Things days, and we would actually bring a video camera that had shitty quality, so it makes our stuff more plausible. So we would bring all these things to this site, and we would videotape it, and we would also record. Over recording, you would hope to hear something over that static that would give you some sort of audible noise that would come out to words or whatever, right? The video maybe would catch something that you didn't see with the naked eye. Those are a couple things. Now, an infrared camera is very, very powerful. And the reason why is that if a ghost or a paranormal spirit or something, an entity is there presenting some sort of heat signature, you will see it, which you cannot pick up with audio and you cannot pick up with a regular video camera. So, ghost hunters, prime example. They're in a hotel. They're in this basement where it used to be a mortuary or an infirmary for where soldiers of the war would go to actually get help. Some of them died there. A lot of them died. So they actually took video, and as they panned across the room, first time I saw this tape, I was like, whoa, what was that? And then, oddly enough, they were like, wait, let's go back. I think I saw something. And they saw a guy who looked to be, I don't know, maybe he was 30, 40, who the fuck knows? But he was kind of younger by the shape of his face, right? And he had a hat on that was forward. And as the camera passes him, the hat turns to the front, looks up, and it's a guy, clear chin, shirt, shoulders. I mean, it's obviously a human figure, but it was very quick. I'd say about maybe 3 seconds where you're like, holy shit, that's a heat signature of a person. Like if you were standing in there and I passed the camera over you, oh, it's Cooley. Clearly it's Cooley. Next, I would be like, okay, that was Cooley. But there was no one there. It was obviously a person that they caught on camera, right? Mm-hmm. With a hat on. I mean, it was very, very clear. And obviously that thing is only going to pick up heat signatures. It's not going to pick up a person in a hat, right? So it was very interesting that they picked that up. So I feel like those things are very important.
Now, was it heat or was it cold? Because
it's an infrared camera, which apparently, as I know, picks up heat.
Right, but it'll also pick up like cold, like which will be blue instead of red.
Right, and those things were differentiated by the heat signature. You could make out a human form.
Right.
So that was something that was very believable to me. They have also set up cameras and found objects moving towards them that were not there. They obviously they weren't people that were there at the time, but things were moving. Like there was something that looked like it was in a cloak that moved towards them and ran away. That was in some weird jail that they saw. I mean, I saw it. It was freaky as shit. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was okay. That's not the person that was up there earlier. Like it's you know what I mean? It's weird. Chairs moved on their own when no one was up there. Everybody was accounted for when they were filming. Have I seen anything while I have been out? No. Have I taken pictures of things that are weird? Yes. Could be orbs. Are they real orbs? I don't fucking know. It's a lot of questionable things. You're never going to really know unless you're a professional, right? But a lot of these orbs can be dust. You take a picture, it reflects off a piece of dust that you can't see. It looks like an orb. Who the fuck knows, right? So all these things are very questionable, but we're not going to know unless we're professionals, and that's what the professionals are for. So I feel like, what does it take to be a professional? It takes some sort of professional equipment, right? And it takes also a team of people who are there to analyze it. Right? You would be perfect for a person on that team. Why? Because you're a skeptic. Whether you've seen enough shit or not, and maybe you've seen shit that is that you're like, I don't know what that is. Holy shit, I have questions. Awesome. The point is you couldn't explain it, right?
Right.
But then you go to another site and you're like, oh, it's dust. That noise. That's the pipes kicking in when you turn on the heat.
Right.
Makes sense, right? But if you are in a situation where you cannot explain it, and you don't know what it is, and there's no reasonable explanation, then it goes into another realm of possibility. What else could this be? I don't know. I don't know what it could be. What is it? And I think that's when, the ghost hunters don't necessarily come in and say, your shit's haunted. I think they say, we don't know what this is, and these are the results that we came up with. Have a nice day. And I think that you'd be perfect for that because you can't necessarily explain everything scientifically, but you can present them with the results, and it's things you don't have answers for.
And as skeptic as I am open-minded. I'll be honest. I'm open-minded. I'm not closed-minded. But I still haven't been presented with anything that, to me, was evidence or proof of supernatural happenings. You know what I mean?
Would you consider yourself lucky or not?
Lucky in what sense?
Like, do you want to see something or no?
Yeah, like I would honestly listen, in my lifetime, I've lost many loved ones, and I would love to experience seeing them like in some way, shape, or form, like again, right? Whether it's my brother, my father, my mother, my grandmother, Those are the things that make me feel like this is not, I don't want to say bullshit, but this is stuff that is, if you believe in it and you really, really want to see it, then there are going to be things that you're going to see out of the corner of your eye, and you're going to things that are unexplainable that you're going to automatically come to the conclusion that the explanation is that it's supernatural. Because I haven't, as from when I was a kid until now, I've lost a lot of folks, and I haven't had any connection to them in the from the afterlife, right? Like there's been nobody reaching out and nobody saying, "Hey, I'm still here, I'm still with you," right? Like it's just they're gone, right? Mm-hmm. So like that's where my skepticism comes from. I don't have any of that, so how is it real, right?
Right.
Do I want it to be real? Do I feel like I'm lucky? No, I don't feel like I'm lucky. I feel like if it's real, then I'm unlucky that I haven't seen it, because that's what I want to see. I'd like to see that. I'd like to have, the people that were in my life still be kind of present in some way, shape, or form, right? Am I lucky that I haven't run into like a demonic presence? Absolutely, I guess. Like, I mean, if these things exist and, I ended up on the bad end of things, then I would be unlucky. But,
right.
So lucky is a very weird term.
Have you seen, by saying this, I know I'm going to get a huge amount of kickback. And honestly, if you guys are listening and have kickback and you have something to say, please tweet it, at redbeardpodcast.com. I want you guys to question it. I would love to have a conversation about you, because I know a lot of you out there that are listening to this have paranormal views on some aspects, supernatural opinions. Please tweet it at redbeardpodcast.com, Redbeard Podcast on Facebook, and any RedBeard Podcast on Instagram. We are everywhere. Just hit us up. Twitter. Tell us what you feel. I really want to talk to you about it.
If you have photos of anything, post it to us
please.
Send it to us on Instagram. Like, seriously, you either fall on one side of the coin or the other. You're either with me or you're with Tony, but either way, like, you're somewhere in this conversation. So
I would love to talk to you about this stuff, guys. I really want to know what you think. I mean, if you have had a paranormal experience that you need to talk about, hit us up. We will literally have you on an episode and talk about it. I am so down with that. I would love to talk to you about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have anybody on this podcast, like anybody.
Seriously, there are things that we would love to talk to you about. You have a topic you want to talk to us about, it, hit us up. But my question right now for you guys is this, Cooley's been talking about his views. I've been talking about my views, right? And I think it really comes down to, there are people that deem, what is it about a person that says they saw, or somebody that claims to be an expert, that makes them an actual expert, right? Because everybody has opinions, right? What do you think, in your opinion, makes somebody an expert or a paranormal investigator in general?
To me, it's their own belief in what they're doing. Like, honestly, like, I feel like I'm a graphic design expert because I believe in what I do. I know my own abilities. I know that I can put something together that looks awesome, right? And if you want a logo or something, you can come to me and I can tell you, hey, this logo looks good or this logo looks like shit. I feel like I'm an expert, right? But, I think those are things that you can't teach. So when you're a paranormal expert, right? Who's going to contest you? Who's going to come up to you and say, "Hey, you're not a paranormal expert"? To me, you're a paranormal expert, Tony. You are an expert on the paranormal stuff because you know way more than I know, and you can come to me and you can tell me, "Hey, this is bullshit. This is not bullshit. This is what," and I'm going to listen to you. For the most part.
Which is funny because I don't consider myself an expert at all. I consider somebody like Lorraine Warren.
But if you told me you were an expert, I wouldn't argue with you. And that's the question at hand, is like, what credentials do you have that make you an expert? Like,
I think you have to be. I think you have to. Okay, it's a good question. And
how can you prove that? How can you prove it?
So prove it. Okay, so I think you have to have experience, right? I think you have to say, one, I've been to this many places that were haunted, and here are my references, right? Like, talk to these people if you need to, right? Or if it's in the media, look it up. Also, I have done an exorcism this many times, talk to this people. You want to talk to the church, they can confirm it. Like things like that, I feel like, where you don't necessarily have to talk about it, the work presents itself. Like, these people have... Like, Ed and Lorraine Warren have been doing investigations for years, and people had sought them out. Like, they didn't have to go to these people. Like, they were literally sought out, where they were like, we need your help. Like, no questions. Like, can you please come to our house and check out this shit, because it's not normal. Like, those are, I feel like, credentials that present themselves. Whether what they do on site is a different thing. So a lot of people don't know about The Conjuring. Just quickly... in the first Conjuring, in the movie version, they were made out to be the heroes. But if you know anything about the Conjuring, and you know Andrea Perron like I do, they were not the heroes. They went in and performed some sort of an exorcism, and they put a lot of stress on, the mother of the Perron family, and the father kicked them out of the house and said, "Get out."
Yeah, you can actually hear about that on the interview that we did with Andrea Perron.
Exactly.
If you just look that up on YouTube, RedBeard Podcast, Andrea Perron, it'll come right up, or you just look it up on our site, redbeardpodcast.com. Andrea Perron is an interview that we did, and she talked about that, specifically.
She even said that, the movie was a great representation of her story, but representation being the operative word. It wasn't a picture for picture of what happened. And I've read the books, and if you want to read the books, they're House of Darkness, House of Light, volume 1, 2, 3. You can purchase all of them on Amazon, and it tells you the true story of the Perrons. And the movie is not, by any means of a way, the exact depiction of what happened. So, yeah.
You also have, think about, mediums, right? We talked about mediums for a brief moment, and, you think about, you got people that stand up in front of a crowd of people, and you're like, hey, anybody lose somebody to natural causes recently?
Thank
and
you. That's what I was going to say earlier.
Yeah, me. And then it's like, all right, it was I'm thinking I've got a picture of a door, a window, something that opens, a box, yeah. And it's like it's almost like they're masters of of fishing for information.
Dude, that is exactly what I wanted to ask you earlier, and I blanked out. But that is it. I want you to look this up, and this is what I was saying. I was getting a lot of kickback on this. I trust this guy, and I think that he's for real. And a lot of people have called him a fraud. And I want you to check him out. You can find probably a ton of YouTube videos on him. And if you've not seen him already, his name is John Edwards.
I've heard of him.
Check him out, dude. He does this weird thing where he's doing this with his arm the whole time because that's how he, connects with them, whatever. It's weird. But there are times where he pulls out shit that is so specific that I don't know how the hell he does it. And it's not like it's not vague. Some of it seems very vague at first, but then he hones in. And, you could say, oh, he's a master of figuring shit out, but, I'm talking specific. Watch 20 videos of him, minimum, right? Watch 20 videos and tell me what you think. I would be very interested to know what you think. And I know there's a lot of people out there oh, he's bullshit. I've been to people that have been to his shows, oh, we waiting in line, don't ask us these questions, and, those questions kind of got brought up, and it's well, yeah, dude, but it's I get that, but did you answer this specifically? Because I'm guaranteeing that you didn't, and how the hell would he know that? There are very weird things that I feel
there's a couple of mediums. Jonathan Edwards. There's Teresa Caputo from she's the Long Island medium.
A lot of people called her out, but she's been kind of accurate. Who knows?
I mean, she seems pretty legit. She just approaches people on the drop of a dime. It's not even in a setting where she's selling tickets.
And most of them, she's very uncomfortable to.
She walks up to people in the grocery store or whatever. And then you also have this dude, this young kid. I can't remember his name, but he's a Hollywood medium or whatever, and he draws shit.
Yeah.
And
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and he sits with different stars and stuff like that. And it's it all seems fucking legit on TV, but it's I have to ask myself, hey, dude, it's on TV. You know what I mean? This is on TV. This is produced entertainment, right? For the masses. And he's probably, I don't know, how often is he accurate? I mean, we see him go to these places, but I mean, obviously, if that's his living, if he's making a living off this stuff, he's not just going to see 5 Hollywood stars. He's going to see maybe 20 Hollywood stars, and 5 of them were super accurate, and they have them on TV or whatever, and those are the ones that they put the episodes on TV. So I'm just, it's which ones are real, which ones are not. Is it even a possibility? I don't know, and I don't even know what Because honestly, I'm hopeful. Let's put it that way. I'm hopeful because I want a connection to the people from my past.
Yeah, and dude, and I think that's a valid question. I mean, I think a lot of people do, because that's why they go to these things, you know, like these events that people hold in the hopes that their loved ones are reaching out to them and want to, you know, give them some final words in a sense.
Right.
And I think that's why a lot of people have questions. It's like, oh, well, you're catching this person in a very vulnerable state.
Exactly. And that's it. That's
you
what
know,
I come
and
down to.
And they're willing to believe anything because they want a connection with that person still. And I feel like that is a very valid question and a valid concern, but there are some things that I feel, as you drop a dime again, is that I feel need to be questioned. You know, like, if I go to a place and I'm standing in line for a ticket, right? Mm-hmm. Like, especially for things like this, I am very skeptic and I'm very aware of my surroundings, right?
Yeah.
I go into a place. Let's walk it through, right? I go in and I say I order my ticket online.
Yep.
Right? Because that's majority of what people will do. I order my ticket online. I give them my address. Right?
Yeah.
Let's say it's an address that I have lived at for years, not the new one. I go there. That's the address that's connected to my credit card at this time. I go in. I pick up the tickets. Right there, what can that person find out? My name. They can probably figure out my address if they really needed to. Mm-hmm. Right? And whatever. I go into this place. They know that I'm tall. I'm white. I have red hair. Okay,
especially
I'm
us.
Pale as fuck, right? I'm probably going to stand out. I'm going to sit in this audience. Is anybody here have a relative who was Italian? Holy shit, that's vague, right? A ton of people are going to raise their hands. Anybody having a relative who played golf? I'm going to raise my hand. Anybody have a relative named Bob? I'm going to raise my hand. Anybody have a relative who lived at Tanglewood Village in Warwick, Rhode Island? Fuck. That's me. That's very fucking specific.
Right.
If they said that, I would be like, that's me.
But I've never heard anybody give like an address.
But I'm just saying, like Warwick, Rhode Island. Maybe did anybody ever play at a golf course in Coventry? That's me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if it gets like vague things are one thing. Does anybody have somebody who died? I do. You know, like, of course. But, like, when you name specifics and names, that's when people start to get vulnerable. And that's when people start to throw all logic out the window and be like, wait, what? How does he know that? And those are things that, when I watch this episode, like, I question. Like, I don't think this person ever told anybody about that. And I don't think that the person they came with ever did. Because if they did, they would have told them. That's how they know.
But why is it all... And the other thing, too, that I have is, why is it always, like... good news?
Because they don't show the people that didn't work out. Because if it didn't work out, then what the fuck is the point?
No. I'm not saying like didn't work out, like as far as like the connection, but I'm talking about why is it always good news? So you make a connection, right? And what if the connection is like, hey, you know what? You fucked up. You know what I mean? Like everybody's always like, oh no, they're here with you. They love you. They want to say, like, dude, like, why is everybody like happy, honky-dory?
I'm not saying
like,
that hasn't happened. I'm not saying it hasn't
like,
happened at all, but I'm saying that the stuff that they show is probably good TV. And yes, it's fucked up. They only show that, but they don't want people to have distraught news on live TV. And if that is the case, they're probably going to only let that person see it live and only play the things that were positive in the audience. I mean, you think about that. Like, oh, just so you know, like, you got to watch out for your husband because he murdered me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they're going to show that stuff.
Because that, to me, that's like, that would probably
and that's
be
questionable, too. Like, how does he know he's telling the truth?
But to me, that's even like, it's almost
even
better.
More believable.
It's almost better TV.
And I agree with you. I agree with you. But there are producers and editors who make a decision, and that's all politics, and I don't know anything about that shit. So, I mean, hey, guys, we have a lot of questions, obviously. Cooley and I are on different sides of the spectrum. I love the fact that he's a skeptic because he questions the things that I believe in and it brings up good conversation. So I think, if anything, guys, if you have things that you want to share with us, if you have something that you strongly believe in, please hit us up. We would love to talk to you about this stuff. We'd love to have a conversation. We'd love to challenge things. My cousin... is a big UFO guy, which we will have a podcast about that. Sent something to a specific YouTube outlet that is all about disproving pictures and, so on and so forth, which we talked about a while ago. A picture that he took on his cruise of what he thinks and I think is some sort of a UFO, but we can't confirm or deny, but looks more accurate than anything. Hey, we're looking to see if they question it, and their name on YouTube is our Secure Team. Check them out. So other than that, man, I think we kind of covered it for this week. We're going to be talking about different things from week to week, but this was kind of our supernatural paranormal week. So, dude, you got anything to add?
No, I'm good.
All right,
I'm
man.
good.
Word.
I said that way far away. I'm sorry, guys. And then I had to say it again up close, so you heard it twice. So it was twice as nice.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Twice as nice. So twice as nice is right. We will catch you guys next week on the RedBeard Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tony Cooley on this Friday. We will, of course, catch you guys next week on the RedBeardPodcast.com. We'll see you then.
Yeah, buddy.
Peace. Later.